The truth about extramarital affair and alimony: if a relationship breaks, earnings can also stop. Imagine, there is a house where everything looks normal after marriage. People outside say it's a good family, everything is going well. But inside the walls of the house, the voice of trust slowly begins to break. The husband is suspicious, the wife says it is just a misunderstanding. Relatives explain to save the marriage, society says a little bit of compromise is okay in marriage. But one day, the matter reaches court. In court, emotions do not speak, evidence does. There, tears, anger, accusations and explanations only have value when they are backed by proof. And then, a question comes before the judge that does not remain just between the husband and wife. The question becomes whether financial support should be given after a divorce if trust is broken during the marriage. This is where the fear begins, because an extramarital affair does not remain just a personal mistake, it can affect divorce, maintenance and future income. The curiosity is born right here. Is it true that if a wife's extramarital affair is proven, she will not get maintenance after divorce? And does this mean that alimony will automatically become zero in every affair case? To understand this whole story, we have to look a little behind the headline. Because in law, the headline is as sharp as the actual matter is subtle. Recently, a decision by the Chhattisgarh High Court became a topic of discussion, in which the court said that a divorced wife, if proven to be living in adultery, cannot be entitled to claim maintenance under Section 125 CrPC. In this case, the family court had granted the wife 4,000 rupees monthly maintenance, which the High Court set aside. This decision is big because generally there is a perception in society that a wife always gets maintenance after divorce. But the court clarified that it is not automatic in every case. First of all, it is necessary to understand one thing: adultery, i.e., an extramarital relationship with another person after marriage, is no longer a criminal offense in India today. In 2018, the Supreme Court took adultery out of the category of crime in the 𝐮𝐸𝐿 case, but this does not mean that it has no impact left in marriage law. Adultery can still be relevant in civil consequences like divorce. Meaning, if a person is involved in an extramarital affair, the criminal angle of police arrest is a different matter, but in marriage, divorce and maintenance, the court can examine their conduct. Now understand another very important difference here. The words alimony and maintenance are often used interchangeably in news headlines, but their contexts can be different in law. Maintenance means regular financial support which can be given to a needy spouse. Alimony is sometimes understood as one-time or periodic support at the time of divorce. In the Chhattisgarh case, the matter was mainly about a maintenance claim under Section 125 CrPC, so it would not be right to blindly apply it to every type of alimony case. The purpose of Section 125 CrPC is that dependent people like a wife, children or parents can get basic support if they are neglected. But there are also some exceptions in this provision. According to Section 125(4), a wife cannot claim maintenance if she is living in adultery, refuses to live with her husband without sufficient reason, or if both are living separately by mutual consent. Now entering the story, in this case the husband filed a divorce petition and made an allegation against the wife that she was in an adulterous relationship during the marriage. The family court granted the divorce and the ground of adultery was accepted. Later the wife demanded maintenance. The family court ordered the wife to be given 4,000 rupees per month as maintenance. The husband challenged this order in the High Court. The husband's argument was that when the divorce decree had already been passed on the ground of adultery, how could the wife come out of the disqualification of Section 125(4)? An argument came from the wife's side that past conduct and present situation are different. That is, if there was a past allegation, can it stop lifetime maintenance? This was the real legal question before the court. Does the disqualification of adultery end after the divorce decree comes, or does it also have an effect on the maintenance case? The Chhattisgarh High Court stated that if a divorce has been granted on the grounds of proven adultery, the court cannot ignore that valid decree. The court also acknowledged that a divorce decree is not something that erases a previous disqualification and automatically revives the wife's maintenance claim. In simple terms, the court conveyed the message that proved adulterous conduct during the marriage cannot be ignored in a maintenance case. But there is a very big caution here. Adultery is not proven just by suspicion, just by rumors, just by a half screenshot of a WhatsApp chat, or just by someone's neighbor's words. The court looks at evidence. The nature of the relationship, conduct, circumstances, divorce decree, cross-examination and documents all come together to form the picture. Many courts have also held that living in adultery generally relates to continuous or repeated conduct, not just an isolated allegation. For this reason, every case depends on its facts. Meaning, if a husband makes a false allegation against his wife just to avoid maintenance, the law does not blindly accept that either. Therefore, this decision is not meant to be used as a weapon by either side. It is a reminder that if trust is broken in a marriage, the court can consider conduct a serious factor. Now understand the financial angle. The question of maintenance after divorce does not run only on emotion, but runs on income, dependency, conduct, need, and legal entitlement. If the wife is financially dependent, the court can provide support in normal cases. But if the legally proven misconduct falls within the exception of maintenance law, the result can change. In this case, the husband was reported to be a temporary data entry operator, the wife demanded higher maintenance, and the family court's 4,000 rupees order was also challenged. The High Court's final view was that once a divorce decree on adultery exists, the wife will not remain entitled to maintenance. Therefore, the husband's revision was allowed, and the wife's enhancement request was dismissed. Now the question arises, will a wife's extramarital affair always keep her away from even 1 rupee? The answer is no. This cannot be stated as an automatic rule in every case. In law, the thinking that if this happens, then that will always happen is dangerous. In every case, the facts, proof, legal provisions, and the court's findings are important. If the allegation is not proven, maintenance will not be denied. If the husband has only done character assassination, he himself can get into legal trouble. If the wife has faced cruelty, domestic violence, or is living separately for a sufficient reason, the court can look at the situation from a different perspective. If the husband himself is involved in misconduct, is hiding income, or is neglecting his wife and children, the court does not let him off easily either. Therefore, this decision is not a fight of husband versus wife. It is a story of trust versus conduct. Marriage is not just rituals, photos, and social status. Marriage is also a legal relationship, in which duties come along with rights. When two people get married, they do not just promise to live together, but they also create an invisible contract of loyalty, responsibility, and mutual respect. And when this contract breaks, the effect is not just on the heart, but it goes to documents, court orders, and bank accounts. The biggest loss of an extramarital affair is often not legal, but emotional. A child's trust breaks, the family's dignity breaks, and even the parents on both sides are affected. But when this same affair becomes proven conduct in court, then it can become a ground for divorce and a deciding factor in a maintenance dispute. This is the reason why people say marriage is a personal matter. But the reality is that marriage is both personal and legal. Now it is necessary to clear one more misconception here. Adultery being decriminalized does not mean that adultery has become socially or legally irrelevant. It just means that the state no longer treats it as a criminal punishment involving jail. But a spouse can raise it in divorce, custody, maintenance, and matrimonial relief proceedings. Meaning, the law says that making a consensual adult relationship a crime is not right, but the civil responsibility of marriage is a different issue. This difference is very important because many people hear that adultery is no longer a crime and assume it will have no legal impact. In reality, there can be an impact, it just appears in family court instead of criminal court. Now also understand that headlines like alimony will not be received often attract the audience, but legally, correct wording is necessary. The correct fact is that a situation like proven adultery or living in adultery can harm a maintenance claim, especially in the context of Section 125(4) CrPC. But in permanent alimony, the Hindu Marriage Act, the Domestic Violence Act, or other personal law remedies, the court can look at facts in a different way. Therefore, any viewer should not make their own legal conclusion just by watching news. In a real case, taking proper advice from an advocate is necessary. Now, what is the social lesson of this story? The first lesson is that when trust breaks in a relationship, it is not just the home that breaks. Legal protection can also weaken. The second lesson is that the court looks at evidence before sympathy. The court will give more weight to the side whose story is stronger with proof. The third lesson is that making false allegations is also dangerous. Allegations like adultery are serious, and making them without proof can be considered an attack on the other spouse's dignity. In many matrimonial cases, false character allegations can themselves become cruelty. Therefore, it is necessary to understand the difference between legal strategy and personal revenge. If a husband is truly a victim, he should preserve evidence legally instead of doing public drama in a hurry. If a wife is facing a false allegation, she should present a proper defense and documents in court instead of suffering in silence. The worst thing in a marriage dispute is emotional impulsive action. Exposing on social media, abusing relatives, or making accusations without proof can weaken the case. In a courtroom, clean records work, not loud voices. Evidence, dates, documents, and conduct. This is the real language. Now it is also necessary to understand the angle of children. The dispute between husband and wife should not automatically affect the children's rights. If it is a matter of child maintenance, the child's need does not end with the mutual fight between the father or mother. Therefore, it is necessary to look at spouse maintenance and child maintenance with a different perspective. A child's education, health, and basic needs hold different importance for the court. This case has shown society an uncomfortable truth. Betrayal in a relationship can become not just a personal guilt, but also a financial consequence. But this decision is not a story of putting any gender down. If the facts were reversed, the husband's conduct could also affect divorce and financial responsibility. The purpose of the law is fairness, not revenge. The court looks at who is legally entitled, who needs support, and what conduct has weakened the legal right. If there is a problem in a marriage, considering an affair an escape route is the biggest mistake. Legal separation, counseling, mediation, or divorce, these paths are clear and lawful. An extramarital relationship often begins in a temporary emotion, but its impact can be permanent. One message, one meeting, one hidden relationship many times puts years of marriage and future security at risk. And when the matter goes to court, that same hidden relationship can stand before you as evidence. Therefore, if respect is left in a marriage, maintain it. If respect is gone, have the maturity to separate in a legal manner. But by deceiving, hiding, and running a parallel relationship, no person should think that its impact will only be emotional. In today's time, call records, chats, travel details, photos, witnesses, and digital trails can reveal a lot. The court can also look at digital evidence, but its authenticity and admissibility are important. Therefore, neither is the path of illegal spying correct, nor is making accusations without verified material correct. The strongest takeaway from this entire story is that trust in a marriage is definitely a moral value, but proven betrayal in court can become a legal consequence. The Chhattisgarh High Court's decision signaled that maintenance is not an automatic reward but a legal entitlement which can be influenced by conduct and proof. If a wife is proven to be living in adultery and the divorce decree is on that same ground, then she can suffer a major loss in her maintenance claim under Section 125 CrPC. But if the allegation is not proven or if the facts are different, then the result can also be different. Therefore, viewers should take clarity from the law, not excitement from the headline. If a relationship breaks, there is pain, but if a relationship breaks due to betrayal, its financial consequences can also appear in court. Loyalty in marriage is not just an emotion, it is a responsibility. And when responsibility breaks many times, not just the heart, but the law also demands an accounting of it. In the end, it is as simple as this. An extramarital affair can hollow out any marriage from within, but if it is proven in court, then the financial support received after divorce can also be in danger. Therefore, the greatest security in a marriage is not money but trust. And if trust breaks, the greatest support is not drama but legal clarity.
If this video has taught you something new, or if you feel this information should reach more people, don't forget to like and share the video. Your small share can become valuable and useful information for someone else. If you have any questions related to this topic, or if you would like to share your opinion with us, be sure to write in the comment box. We read every question and suggestion from you, because your feedback inspires us to create better content. And if you want to keep receiving such interesting and reliable information about business, the economy, and the world in the future, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel GRT Business and also press the bell icon so that you get notifications of every new video directly. At GRT Business, we always strive to provide you with accurate, balanced, and reliable information. Our news and analysis are prepared based on information obtained from various news agencies, public sources, and public opinion. We make every effort to verify and validate each fact as much as possible. But in case of any possible error or dispute, the responsibility lies with the respective sources. Our only aim is to present you with a correct and trustworthy perspective so that you can understand any topic better.